Good morning, everyone. I'm Nikki Stanzione.
And I'm Kristen Van Dyke.
And this is New Mexico Style. Welcome to a brand new week.
Yeah, good to be back.
Something really funny you were just telling me before we went on the air. She was telling me she went camping this weekend and what an adventure it was. And
it was an adventure.
I have to say I'm highly impressed because last night I sat in my bed cracking up because the Jersey Housewives went camping and that was me, like a total disaster, wearing high heels in the wood. Like, what are we doing here? They went to the camping store. They were walking around the camping store buying everything. They probably bought like $5,000 worth of stuff, walking around the store in heels. Ridiculous.
Yes.
I could relate, though.
You would have like the air mattress. What else would you have?
Oh, you know, lots of food and maybe some cold cream and, you know, maybe like a portable flat iron.
There you go. Battery operated. Battery operated hair dryer too, probably.
But you, on the other hand, you even knew how to get a tent put together.
Yeah. Real camping on the hard ground that was wet.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, it was fun though. That's how you got to do it.
That's how you do it. You have to do it the right way.
You got to come camping with me sometime, Nikki.
You got to teach me the ways of the world because I am completely just delinquent.
I will. It'll be a comedy, I'm sure. We'll have to video.
It'll be like Gail and Oprah in the woods.
Yeah.
Oh my God, let's do that. We'll have to bring a camera crew though because it's too funny to miss that. Okay, now in just a few minutes we're going to be interviewing American Idol and So You Think You Can Dance producer Nigel Lithgow. Now he's launching this brand new show next month. It's called A Chance to Dance. And I actually got to meet Nigel a couple of years ago. He might not remember this, but back in 2010, right before I moved here, I went to the Emmy Awards. That was actually September of 2010, literally a week before I moved to New Mexico. And that was the Fox after party, and I met Nigel and I told him that I am an incredibly obsessive fan of all of his shows, and he was such a nice man. I know on the show he can be intimidated because he's a judge and he can be a little tough on the guests, but what a nice guy. So I'm excited to talk to him.
That is cool, so you get to talk to him again. I remember you telling me about meeting him earlier. That's so neat.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Can't wait to hear what he has to say. Those are two great shows, obviously.
Obviously, and now he's also got another show called Opening Act, and that's been on E! And basically they're finding different stars to open for their favorite artists in concert.
Ooh.
It's a cool concept.
Really cool.
Yeah, you have to check that one out, and we'll talk more about the Chance to Dance in a little while as well. But in the meantime, let's check in with KRQE News 13 anchor Matt Mauro with this morning's headlines. Good morning, Matt.
Hey, good morning to you two ladies, and good morning to you at home. In the news this morning, 1 week from today, one of Albuquerque city councilors is set to officially introduce a plan to have you vote for the next police chief rather than having the mayor make the hire. But this morning, we're hearing from more and more people who do not like Councilor Ken Sanchez's idea, and this includes the city's former public safety director, Pete Dinelli.
There's no doubt in my mind that this is ill-advised, and I think it's a knee-jerk reaction to what's been happening down at City Hall with the Albuquerque Police Department.
Dinelli and others, including the Albuquerque Journal's editorial board, say this is a bad reaction to the negative feelings about Police Chief Ray Schultz after the 24 police shootings in the last 2 years in the city. However, City Councilor Ken Sanchez thinks electing a police chief rather than having the mayor hire one is a very good thing.
I think we just need to keep our options open in looking for something different to restore the faith and the confidence of our police department.
Sanchez says at least one other city councilor thinks things need to change with how a police chief is hired here, and he hopes to have you vote on this idea come November. Well, plans are back on track for a couple that was supposed to get married at the Rancho de Corrales Event Center, but that recently burned. A fire at the historic building a couple of weeks ago devastated Tyler and Brianna, but now the Tanawan Country Club has stepped up to help the couple's dream wedding become a reality. And other businesses in the area have donated things such as chairs and draperies. They're not sure when or if the building in Corrales will reopen. Well, today is a very important deadline for dozens of Balloon Fiesta vendors. They say their prices are about to skyrocket, and unless they can reach an agreement with the folks who run the Fiesta, the vendors may be no-shows this year. News 13 Scott Daniels explains.
We fought in the rain, we fought the wind, and this is probably our biggest battle right now.
Maddie Romero says even in rough weather, Perico's made about $58,000 during Balloon Fiesta last year. A huge chunk of their yearly income is from those 9 days. But now they say it's all in jeopardy. A new company just hired to manage Balloon Fiesta vendors wants to collect 30% of every food vendor's gross profits. It's something food vendors like Perico's might not be able to afford.
60 workers, 3% profit at the end of the day, it's a tough one.
Romero is among a large group of vendors now getting the help of attorney Pete Dinelli. At a meeting Friday, he told vendors he'll work to get an extension on a Monday deadline to sign the contract that caught vendors off guard about a month ago.
The real question is that if you are not given a 2-week extension, those contracts will have to be signed by 5 o'clock on Monday.
Dinelli is scheduled to meet with Balloon Fiesta officials Monday to try and find some middle ground.
If you sign this contract now, you're probably looking at a situation where it's not going to get any better.
If the meeting doesn't go over easy, Romero says Perico's rent could double to more than 20 grand, and the burritos that have been rolled there for the past 20 years might come to a halt.
Are you going to sign that contract and stick with Balloon Fiesta?
Well, you know, we're not ones to walk out of anything just about.
Scott Daniels, KRQE News 13.
The president of Perico says the way he understands it, the contract also allows the Balloon Fiesta to micromanage vendors, which he does not like. We'll let you know if the vendors get the extension. Well, Governor Susana Martinez will be at Coronado Center later today to talk about the 8th annual tax-free holiday here in New Mexico. That is going on this weekend. It's a chance for you to save some money, particularly on the things that kids need to go back to school. Make sure you watch this week on News 13 New this morning, because we'll tell you everything you need to know about this tax-free weekend and what is and is not on that tax-free list. And speaking of back to school, when kids in Santa Fe go back to class in a few weeks, a lot of them will have more than $2 million in new technology. This includes more than 2,000 iMacs, laptops, iPads, and Apple TVs. These are going to 3 public high schools and an elementary school there. The district is hoping the computers help get kids' math scores to go up. Well, another listeria scare to tell you about this morning. Pre-packaged barbecue chicken salads sold at Trader Joe's, they are being recalled. FDA inspectors say the salads contain diced onions that may be contaminated with the potentially deadly listeria bacteria. Products with the use-by dates through July 30th are subject to the recall. Some of those salads were sold here in New Mexico. So far, no one has gotten sick from those salads. Remember, listeria last year caused 30 people to die across the country, including 5 here in New Mexico. Well, those are your morning headlines for today. Be sure to check out Elizabeth Alvarez, Kristen Van Dyke, and myself every weekday morning on News 13 New this morning. That begins at 4:30. Ladies, I know both of you shop at Trader Joe's. Check those salads out today, okay?
Thank you so much. You know, I'm so glad you told us about that. I am an avid salad buyer at Trader Joe's.
They have the best. They're so good and they're easy.
They're so easy. In fact, I bought 2 this weekend. I bought the chicken Caesar and I bought the one with the mozzarella and the tomatoes and the spinach. Yeah. So I did not get the barbecue chicken.
Well,
that scares me.
Be wary of that one. Yeah,
absolutely.
I remember last year they had the cantaloupe.
It was like the cantaloupe scare. Yeah.
So
got to be careful. Meanwhile, did you watch a lot of Olympics? Oh, you didn't get to. Were you away?
I did a little bit, like here and there.
Oh, okay.
I tried to catch, you know, because I was camping. Like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then over the weekend I did catch some of it.
I watched a lot.
Did you like it?
We are up there in the medals. We're just behind China as far as total medals won so far. So we're doing really well. I'm really impressed with our teams, our gymnastics. Women's gymnastics, although I'm very disturbed, and I'm sure a lot of you also will agree about, they were talking about last night the fact that now they can only take 2 from each team, 2 people to compete in the all-around gymnastics finals. So basically, even though the 3rd person in the American team is better than maybe all the other countries' teams, it doesn't matter. She doesn't get to qualify in the top 24. So they're not taking the 24 best athletes. They're taking 2 from each country and making that equal 24. I think that's completely unfair.
Ooh, that's gonna be rough, especially for number 3.
Jordan. I mean, she is so good. She is such a talented gymnast. She's the world champion. So she can't even compete in this final as, you know, for a contention for a gold medal. But she can compete for the teams, which will be tomorrow. But yeah, we'll keep you up to date, of course, on all those things. In the meantime, this is a really interesting story. Some special fire trucks moved through Albuquerque this weekend. They're actually part of the Pink Heals Tour, which is supporting women battling all forms of cancer. And at the same time, it's improving public awareness of women's issues.
The famous pink fire trucks with firefighters dressed in matching gear made a stop in Albuquerque yesterday. Albuquerque is the 3rd stop on a 64-city tour of the United States. Dave Grable is a former Olympian and founder of the Pink Heals Tour.
We're not just a charity or a movement that celebrates human beings again. We focus on our labor of love on our women.
So cool. The group has helped raise more than $206,000 over the last 4 years. So, hey, it is a good thing for men to wear pink.
It takes
right?
a real man to wear pink.
It
right?
sure does. Absolutely. No, I think that's a wonderful story, and I love to see them doing great things. But it's funny because you think of fire truck, you think red immediately.
You do not think pink at all. It was really cool to see that, though, especially the meaning behind it.
For sure.
Well, if you've always wanted to own a piece of history, now is your chance. The auction of Santa Fe at the Hilton Hotel will feature a lot of Kit Carson memorabilia, including saddles, bridles, and his pistol, all used in the Mexican-American War.
Yeah, Kit Carson was an American frontiersman who also lived with the Arapaho and Cheyenne tribes, and he was also a part of the New Mexico Volunteer Infantry during the Civil War. So, yeah, I didn't know a lot about him, I'll be honest. I knew he was a part of the tribes, Arapaho and Cheyenne, but I didn't know a lot about him until now, and this is a wonderful opportunity for you to get a piece of history.
Oh, yeah, I believe like one of his guns is supposed to go for auction for like $25,000.
Yeah, so bring some money with you if you're going. Bring a lot of money, in fact.
Yeah.
Okay, now we talk about the dancing shows. One of the other dancing shows, this one Nigel does not produce though, the Dancing with the Stars All-Star cast has been officially announced. You ready for it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so now what they've done is they've taken some of the better dancers from other seasons, and maybe not so much of the better dancers, but maybe the more pronounced celebrity type people, like Pamela Anderson, who wasn't the best at dancing, but people know who she is for sure. Shawn Johnson.
Oh, yes.
Excellent.
Perfect timing.
Right, perfect timing.
Right?
Joey Fatone of NSYNC, celebrity, of course. Drew Lachey, who won season 2. He won season 2 with Cheryl. Bristol Palin, who didn't do so well, but she is also among the contestants on the upcoming All-Star edition of Dancing with the Stars. There's more, though.
Yes,
there's more.
Kirstie Alley, we all remember her.
Yes. She lost a lot of weight on that show.
Lost a ton of weight. Do you know if she's kept it off?
She's kept a lot of it off.
Okay,
she has,
maybe
indeed.
she can get even more going here.
Yeah, good for her.
Also, we have a few over there. Kelly Monaco.
Gilles Marini, my favorite.
Yes, and Melissa Rycroft and Emmett Smith.
Yeah, and
former NFL.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, a lot of these were the big winners. I'm on Team Gilles. I love Gilles. Gilles danced with, Gilles was the guy in Sex and the City Part 1. He was the sexy neighbor, Gilles. Remember him? That Samantha couldn't stop looking at?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
He and I have corresponded on Facebook, just so everybody knows.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, I told him I want him on the show, and he said maybe when he's in town he will come on the show, and I told him I'm very proud of him, and I hope he wins the mirror ball this time. I love you, Gio. I love you. Okay, sorry. Got that out of the way. Meanwhile, viewers will be able to watch the show, and they'll be able to vote on these wonderful contestants for the 13th winner this year. For the 13th winner all in all, because there have been so many others. Oh, I just dropped your clicker, by the way, because I got so excited about Gilles. Don't ever let me talk about that man on television again. Okay, now the show's first All-Star season is an attempt to reignite a show that has kind of lost a little heat and ratings in the recent seasons. But the All-Star edition is not going to air till September, so you have a little bit of time. I got to contain myself. I can't talk about Gilles, clearly. Want to hear something really cool?
Yes.
This is really cool. My producer told us about this. She texted me yesterday, and I'm so excited to share the news. There was a Johnny Depp sighting in Santa Fe this weekend. Yes. He was spotted at Fairchild & Company Fine Designer Jewelry right off the Santa Fe Plaza.
Oh, wow. You know what? And I heard he's going to be an Angel Fire like next week.
Where you just were?
Where I just was.
Just going to miss him by a week?
Missed him by a week.
Johnny Depp. Well, and she said that her friend who saw him said he was just lovely. Isn't that cool?
He is a lovely man.
I hope he sticks around town. Maybe we can get him on our show.
So too.
That'd be nice.
Awesome.
Well, will he need to deal with some difficult weather, or will it be nice?
It's going to be hot.
Yeah.
It's going to be hot really for the next few days, and mainly dry too. Let's go ahead and talk about the weather. And before we even get to the forecast, I wanted to share with you what happened to me back over when I was camping. We were talking about camping earlier.
Yeah.
Okay. This was like a really pretty scene. I heard the water coming down.
Okay.
And basically, I went by and it was like, not a waterfall, but you could see the kind of the stream there and the water coming down. Well, this was earlier in the day. Well, this big storm came, right?
Yeah.
And so I go back. We set up the tent and all that good stuff. I went back. It was the stream. I saw the stream just like it was. Literally in a second, it went from that to this flash flood.
Oh my God!
I'm telling you, in the snap of a finger, I looked up like that.
That's what you
down
saw?
for a split second. And that is what happened.
Gosh!
So that And it just inundated the whole little area, like water everywhere, just coming down, covering up the rocks. It's crazy what Mother Nature can do.
It really
I just
is.
had to take a picture.
In a matter of a second, literally.
In a second.